if a bat never crashed into Batman's window and inspired his vigilante identity? What if Batman wasn't wealthy? And what if Harley Quinn herself fell in love with Batman instead? Find out today on the What If tag on r/Batman. Oh, and hi, before we start, I'm in Aussie and I use psychology and humor to discuss fiction. If you like this video or my channel, please engage with it so much. Please like and comment and subscribe and whatever, so that the YouTube algorithm doesn't toss me aside like a used tampon. Thank you, let's go. So I've been on this subreddit for a while. I love this tag. I saw it from the beginning. I was like, wait, this tag is actually so interesting as such a mind exercise. You know, it's something interesting to look at, something interesting to think about. So starting off, the biggest one on this tag is, if the bat had never crashed through his window, what would Bruce use as the basis / inspiration for his superhero identity? What would he call himself? As if in answer, a huge bat flies in the open window. A bat, that's it. It's an omen. I shall become a bat. So yeah, I like the bat thing. Just man. If you go by year one, he'd have bled to death in his chair. If he didn't get a sign he should keep fighting, he would have run the bell and saved himself. So basically, dead man. In this parody, a baseball comes through the window with predictable yet funny results. The birth of the hero. The criminals are a superstitious, cowardly lot, so my disguise must strike fear and terror in their hearts. But what? What could strike terror? What could strike fear? What could strike... Sorry, mister. My name's Robert. Sorry I hit my ball so hard with this bat. Could I... A bat. That's it, of course. I shall become... Batman. And Robin, look. His ball boy. Someone says he maybe could have been Grey Ghost or a Zorro mixture, which is nice idea. I do appreciate that one. I think it works. There were a couple of funny pages that showed off different possibilities of what Bruce might have been if he found inspiration in a different thing. This list includes Scorpion, Stingray, Shooting Star, Owl, and Iron Knight. In one of Morrison's books, Alfred also joked that Bruce might have become Curtain Man. Yeah, so that one's a good one. Nice little warmer-upper. What if Batman existed in the Marvel Universe instead is a different one. It's talking about how there's a different version of Batman, but we could ignore it, have a classic Batman. We wouldn't make Batman patrol New York City like nearly all of the other heroes in Marvel do, but we would have him with his own Gotham, making it possibly the only fictional city in Marvel. Damn, I didn't realize there was not that many at all, except from Wakanda and Latveria. Doctor Doom, that's it. So that's where he lives. Oh, okay. I think he's the Fantastic Four villain, because I watched the movies. Don't know too much about him comic wise, because, you know, very evident I'm more of a DC girly, but I do like myself some Marvel. So that's interesting. Someone says that he would hate Punisher and Wolverine, frenemy with Daredevil. He'd have a lot of respect for Spider-Man and Captain America for sure. Probably has an anti-mutant contingency plan. That's kind of sad, but yeah, of course he would. Frequently works with Wakanda, absolutely. Arch nemesis is Doctor Doom, maybe. He has many adventures with the Fantastic Four, and Alfred is a good friend to Ben Grimm. Is that the thing? Damn! Maybe your girl does know a few things about Marvel. He believes that Deadpool can change if only he stops killing people. Combines Tony Stark with Stark Industries, money and tech with Daredevil's secret identity and ethics, and you get Batman. Would be pretty cool to see what batsuits Tony Stark could come up with and watch them piece together on the fly. That would be cool. Pretty sure Red Hood crossed over and swiped the blueprints of Iron Man's helmet, so there could be a link between worlds that Jason knows of. They made a crossover. There's also been crossovers. Oh, it literally... Oh no, it is a crossover. It's so stupid. Batman's in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, I think this is an interesting idea. I am against the idea that he would not be with the mutants. I think he'd be all up in that mutant stuff. That sounded really weird. I take it. Don't. I didn't mean it like how it sounded. I just mean he would be funding mutants. He would be helping mutants. He would be... It's an orphanages. Do you know who this guy is? He would be the godfather of half of the mutants in yeah, he has a lot of star power, and I can't lie to you, like, I feel like a lot of Marvel characters just don't have the same star power. Even in their universes, I feel like Batman, who can be anything anywhere is just so iconic in comparison that he would maybe wash out the other characters. But to be fair, he's doing that in DC anyways. So as he goddamn should. I said it. I don't believe that, but listen, I don't blame the guy. Listen, he's my favorite hero of all time. There's a reason they're making so much money with Batman. It's because people like him. I'm just saying. Okay, next one. If Superman is hope, Wonder Woman is truth, then what is Batman? Hope, truth, justice? I don't know. You'll always have a real family as long as I'm around. That's what he says to Cassandra, his daughter. And then there's Ace from the Justice League animated series when she was experimented on and was left to die, and she's super strong, and he just sits with her when she dies. Everybody talks about it because it's iconic. Okay, justice. Yeah, I was thinking justice as well. If Wonder Woman is truth and Superman is hope, Batman is justice. But not the retributive kind of way where he focuses on just punching criminals. It should be justice in all aspects, including justice for the innocent. Yes, I agree with that. Justice, just us. Just the two of us. Batman is Batman. Also justice, but mostly Batman. Yeah, I think everyone's really in agreement. I don't know if that's necessarily a what if, but pretty fine. Alright, Batman what if ideas go. I recall Marvel had a what if show. I haven't seen it. I guess it's for a lot of AUs. What if Bruce never had Alfred? Very interesting. Oh, I think he'd get taken in by Martha's family, maybe grow up with Kate Kane. I'm not sure the age difference between them in the comics. I think there would be enough people to support him, but there is, I think someone mentioned it very interestingly, the idea that Bruce being allowed to be taken care of by an employee of his parents was immoral. So Child Services, Gotham Child Services, GCS, should not have actually done that because it wouldn't have been ethical, and there would have been a conflict of interest. Of course, the employee would just not have loyalty. Perhaps the idea is that they were friends before, and I think they might have already signed something that Alfred was Bruce's godfather or something like that maybe, but on the surface it doesn't sound very ethical. So I think it would have maybe made more sense for Bruce to be taken care of by the Kane family, to be fair. So it would have been interesting. I think it'd been less fun or less soothing or nice, because even the found family aspects from Batman's story starts from Alfred and Bruce. It just keeps getting better and better with the Bat family, so I feel like it's a bit sad if they did that, but could have made sense. What if Alfred became Batman because the whole Wayne family gets murdered that night, including young Bruce? That's interesting. Yeah, I could see him like going out to find and kill the guy, maybe even becoming a vigilante, but he probably wouldn't be Batman. No, I don't even know if he really would become a vigilante. Maybe he would be a part-time on and off freelance, you know. Maybe the League still forms without him, but he starts to aid them occasionally. Thing is though, wouldn't he just move back to England? I can't imagine Alfred staying in the US. I mean, as a Brit myself, I can't imagine going to the US if it wasn't for the love of my life, platonically or not. So I don't know, bro. I would just dip. I'd be like, I'd shoot the guy who killed them and then I'd go. You know, I feel like that's what Alfred would do anyway. So I don't know about that one. Gotham's Gavel or Executioner. Gavel. Sorry, my bad. I don't think I pronounced it right either. What if Thomas and Martha weren't shot? What if just Thomas died and then Martha raised him? What if just Martha died? Ooh. Interesting concepts. I don't know, because I think one parent would have been enough to keep Bruce happy, and I think they would have been enough for each other, especially with Alfred. So I think if one of the parents didn't get shot, then there would still not be a Batman. Like if I was Thomas and my wife just died, for instance, but I have my child, I would do everything for my child and my friend, my close friend Alfred. I would want to get back at them. I wouldn't want to risk losing myself or losing my kid, you know? And it's the same for Martha. I imagine she wouldn't want to sacrifice herself by killing the killer, but she would pursue the killer, and then maybe after years of raising Bruce and he's 16 or 15, you'd come to a standstill. Oh, I'm never going to be able to give this killer justice if I don't go out to kill them. But then I feel like with Thomas there, he would have had the connections, or Martha there, they would have had the connections to find the guy, especially if they survived, because they would be witnesses of age, because obviously Bruce was so young, and even though he was super smart, people probably didn't believe him. But Thomas and Martha they're adults, they're rich adults, they would have been able to find Joe Chill and give him justice. And so I just feel like there would not be a need necessary for a vendetta. Either if they could find him and give him justice, or if they couldn't find him, they would still want to focus on Bruce and not being a murderer for their significant other's behalf. So I think it'd be a different story for sure. Obviously, if they weren't shot, then I can't imagine that Batman would come to existence in the first place. What if Batman killed the Joker? Sunshine and Rainbows, I don't know. What if Harvey Dent never came Two-Face? Another Sunshine and Rainbows. There are like a bazillion characters who could take his place, villains. So I guess they'd be one more competent lawyer, one more good friend. Maybe good friend would help Bruce's mentor, competent lawyer would help keep people or convict certain people, like Rupert Thorne, a gangster in Batman universe who never gets caught. Then we have, what if Dick Grayson died with his parents? It would have been another tragedy that Bruce just felt bad about, would have solved. Nothing would have happened, I don't think. Oh, of course he would not be a parent as early, but I still think that Jason would have come into his life at some point. It's not like Bruce went to Crime Alley and saw Jason because of Dick, so it would have still occurred. But maybe though, actually, I forget, that means that Dick is not in his life at all, right? So maybe though there would not be a Robin role, because the reason there's a Robin role in the first place is because of Dick, because Jason never necessarily needed to be Robin for the same reason that Dick did. I think Jason only wanted to be Robin because it really was a mantle, and because he wanted to be something, because he came from nothing. And then Bruce obviously wanted to replace that and to get a new person in to help keep the hope up, to accompany him during the night on patrol, to make sure that they're safe, to protect. He wanted someone that he could help, and he felt the best way, and that worked out, I suppose, because he's only had one experience with the child at this point, is to make Jason Robin. But of course, without Dick, Jason wouldn't have wanted to do that. Jason wouldn't have wanted to be Robin, because it wouldn't have existed, and Bruce wouldn't have had that example, so he probably wouldn't have gone down that route. So then I guess Robin wouldn't exist, and Jason wouldn't have died, and then I suppose Tim wouldn't have come into their lives, and then Damian would have come in, probably, because he probably still would have smashed Talia al Ghul. So then it would be Jason as a 20-something year old. We would have Damian at 13. Maybe it would have been a Batboy situation. Damian would have debuted as a Batboy, because if there's one child that they would have no chance stopping from going out, it's Damian. I'm so sorry. Like, there is no chance they would have been able to stop Damian, especially without Dick. No chance. Jason might have done it, but I think he'd have been busy with school. He would just be in school all the time. And I think he might have been friends with Tim. Maybe that could have been the nice still introducing Tim aspect to the story, but they would be friends at most. I just don't think that Bruce would think to adopt him unless he approached. I just don't see it. Stephanie wouldn't have come in the life either. Maybe she would have been a friend, but Tim and Stephanie would never have met if they weren't Robin and Spoiler. So then Stephanie wouldn't have been there. Cassandra might have come as well. So it'd be Jason, Cass, Damian, and maybe do it because of the Joker. So we would be missing Stephanie, probably Tim, and probably Dick. I mean, absolutely Dick. Yeah, so if Dick died, I imagine it would definitely be a smaller family. And then what if Talia actually loves Bruce enough to leave the league? That'd be fun, I think. That'd be cute. They could have an actual romance consistent. Because the thing is, the problem with Talia is different with the problem with Selena. Because Selena likes him, but she doesn't want to stay. So obviously that's an issue in terms of that. Because it's passionate, but it's not consistent at all. And neither of them are ready to commit at any possible time. Talia, she will not stand for that, bro. I'm telling you. She would propose. The moment she realized who she was, she'd be on one knee. She'd be like, King, accept my token of affection. Like, she would immediately, if she actually loved him, it'd have been Gigi's. Bruce, like, he could push her away and stuff, but she would never leave. And that's the problem with Selena, because she's always leaving, even though it's not always her fault or anything, but and so I think they would definitely be an established couple. Damien obviously would have been raised from birth, and there would have been more stability. I think Bruce would have been able to grow better as a person with a permanent partner around him. What if Alfred was evil, as in he stole the money or something, or he raised Bruce badly, or it's a bit vague. If Alfred were evil, I'd cry, probably. Evil's so vague. If Alfred became like a villain-esque level of evil, that would be tragic for Bruce, and he would be worse off. In some way, depends on how evil he was. Maybe he was implicitly evil, so he kept it in himself, or maybe he was explicitly evil and he explicitly damaged Bruce in some level of way. It would be a creepy story for sure, because from the start, Bruce is just being manipulated. It would have been like a survival story. Oh, a couple of these have actually been done. Batman killing the Joker is The Batman Who Laughs, and it's horrific, but also an amazing set of comics, so I won't spoil it. If Alfred Was Evil has been done as well. I'm not sure what it's called, but essentially when he starts being Batman, Bruce gets beaten up by basic street thugs. So Alfred and his British friends dress up as his rogues gallery to make him feel good. Two-Face, Riddler, etc. Alfred is the Joker. That's wild. What if Superman fell into Wayne Manor while the Waynes were alive, resulting in Superman and Batman growing up as siblings? Stop! I'm pulling up AO3. Wait, no, stop. Please tell me there's a tag. Okay, Bruce Wayne has a sibling, is a tag. I'm gonna look at this later. I'm gonna bookmark this. That is something I need to read immediately, and if it hasn't been written, I'm going to be writing it. That sounds amazing. Thank you. They have the premise of Cal landing in Wayne Manor and he's named Bruce. There was a thing where they were actual brothers in one of the Superman Batman issues. Is it Absolute Power? I think it's called Absolute Power, and it's fine, but it's an evil version of them, so I don't really count it. And I never really thought about it too deeply, because they're brothers because of like this magic, not because of like they were considered adopted brothers. Dude, imagine. I suddenly need Bruce to have a sibling. What if he went broke after becoming Batman? I don't like that. Someone said that he'd be Daredevil with sight. Okay, I'm gonna do a few more. If you can erase one thing from Batman canon, what would it be? This is going to be so spicy. Let's go. Don't worry, the EMTs will be here soon. We don't have time for that. That's my little reading of this is Dick being shot and becoming Rick Grayson, the amnesiac who is abandoned by his family. I don't really know the story. This is one I have seen before, but I absolutely can't remember, so I'm going to talk about it as if I've never seen it before because I can't remember it at all. Dick Grayson choosing Selina over Bruce in Gotham War right after we had a great moment with them in Dark Crisis. Somehow we get back to them falling apart. Honestly, I would just delete Gotham War as a whole. As someone who hasn't read Gotham War, I agree. Similarly, I would say all of them choosing Selina over Bruce. I remember having a good laugh at Zatsky making Babs say she would totally support her, and like an issue later, Selina laughing at one of her people almost murdering some random cop. Just lol. That's your champion, Babs. Lol, exactly. Honestly, the most cringe part for me was Nightwing and Tim Drake fighting Bruce and Damian, and Grayson yells to Bruce that he will not let him ruin Selina's peace. Right there, I had to put the book down. Lol, it was rough. The idea that Joe Chill was anything but a random mugger who got scared and pulled the trigger too early, I really like this. It was created on a senseless act. Joe Chill was a random mugger, and any other idea, any other story is just annoying. Unless it's an Elseworld, obviously. Damian Wayne's best friend getting aged up. Oh! I didn't listen. The amount of Damian Wayne exposure I've had before I picked up fanfictions was so minimal. It was the son of Batman, and it was Batman vs. Robin, the movies, which are good. Some people say they're bad. I think they're good. They're good. They're good movies. They're good watches. They're good watches. Enjoyable. Even if Dick is kind of done dirty in terms of power scaling, and so is Deathstroke. Like, Damian's not defeating Deathstroke one-on-one, please. But still, they're great. And then I thought, I'm desperate and I'm undergoing a difference and change in my life where I'm starting to become more obsessed with the Bat family. It happened around a year or so ago, and I watched the Super Sons movie. I was like, this CG, this art, this is so ugly for about 5 minutes, because I like anime, so whenever I see this stuff, it just irks me so much. I hate it in anime. But then I got over it because the story was so compelling, learning about Jonathan Kent, learning about everything, and then I fell in love with John. during the movie. And then I fell in love with John and Damien's dynamic. So I was so hyped on them as a pairing together. Not romantically, even though that's valid, but just more so them as friends and working together. And just, it was like DC finally cooked, you know? Like, after so much stress, DC cooked. I know some people prefer him with his civilian friend, Damien with his civilian friends, who's similarly optimistic and similarly wants to help people. I can't remember who it is. If I remember, I'll put it up. If I don't, then sorry. But him and John just felt like, you know, when you're bestie, you know, Batman and Superman are besties, right? And when you and your bestie have children at the same time, it felt like, girl, it just felt like that generational. It just was. And then they aged him. And then they sent him to, what was it, a volcano. They sent John to like a volcano to suffer, get to. They couldn't let one character just be happy. They couldn't let him just be a happy guy. They had to basically torture this guy, leaving in a volcano, age up. And so he is just coming back and nobody gets it, nobody understands, and he is ruined and messed up and big and tall and not small anymore. And it was so unnecessary, and it is the bane of my existence. And I will never forgive them. I will never forgive them, and I'm honestly going to ignore it. Everything's gonna be rebooted. So let's say we have a Super Sons movie, we're not going to. If we do, after the Tomorrowverse, I will be so ecstatic, dude. I want to see these movies in cinema. They're never in cinema, but I'll still be watching this in my front room. We have a big TV, we have big speakers on the side and behind, and underneath we have bass, surround sound. I am going to be enjoying myself when this movie comes out, if it ever does. And especially, you know, the dynamic duo movie, I don't know why it's called that, but with Jason and Dick, same thing. I'm gonna be enjoying myself when watching these movies. So if they happen, I hope so much that they keep John where he was. They keep him where he was, taller than Damien at 10, Damien's 13, shorter than him. I hope they learn from their mistakes. I hope that the stink that everyone's caused online will teach them a lesson, because I'm not buying a comic after that. Something else that people want to erase from canon is the whole Batman is a bad person thing that people keep trying to push. Like, no, Batman is an extremely tragic character because he's a good person who got traumatized to the point that he has an impulse to put himself directly into harm's way to deal with survivor's guilt, no matter how much good he does. The fact that they had to go back and retcon it to make him a bad parent to Jason has always bothered me. Yes, period, slay, point blank. Jason gets even more stupid because they retroactively go back and change Jason into someone who's always angry, prone to violence. And then there's the whole origin thing that Jason was taken in by Bruce and made Robin because he was going to become a petty criminal, which is brain dead. I agree. I think that there is some merit to it, but not for it to be the whole reason. Like, of course, Jason might have fallen into something and been trapped, but that's like saying I intervened in someone's argument so that they didn't beat each other up. It's like, what? Like, yeah, you intervened in an argument that could have technically led to that, but not really. Like, that's not why you intervened, because you cared about people and you didn't want the tension in the room. You didn't intervene because you fully expected that they would do this. You just worried that it might grow to get worse. Yeah, it's not fair to Jason, it's not fair to Bruce. More things. Tim's break up with Steph. Get that shit out of here. Another thing, I didn't even know who Stephanie Brown was in my childhood when I was watching like Batman anime series. I didn't know a thing about this girl until I saw and learned about Tim more, and I learned about their relationship, and I immediately shipped them. It's my fault, but I was like, this is the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my fucking life. When I saw them panels of them together and stories of them together, and then to know that after Tim was with her during her pregnancy, after they had gone through countless of strifes and problems together, and were Robin and Spoiler together, and were Stephanie and Tim together, and were confessing love to each other but also joking around the whole time, and just all of that goodness just to end, and then them to show that a lot of it, the DC writers just did a lot of it because he was bi. They can't date the person of the opposite gender if they're bi, because you need to show that they're bi by showing that they're dating someone of the same gender as them. Like, you know, that's not how bi works. It means that they're interested in people of the same gender and the opposite gender as them. So what are you saying? What are you saying? It's just I hated it. And Bernard is so mid. And his relationship with Con, I haven't read the Titans, but the ship that people have made, I thought it was canon, honestly. That's how hard people ship Tim Con. It's good. It's similar. It's nerd and jock, I guess. But I just don't think any ship for Tim, even Tam and Tim, nothing touches Stephanie and Tim. I just don't like. I honestly think you could have Dick move on from Barbara and date Corey, or date someone else, just someone else, anyone else, because literally for him is like a binary choice for the writers. He can move on, and then the actual Batgirl and Robin duo just stays to be Tim and Steph, because they never broke up. Because I read the Wayne Family Adventures and they broke up, and they're like, oh, we're civil exes. I'm like, you better kiss right now. Just shut up and kiss. And it's like, oh, did you meet my boyfriend? And I'm like, get Bernard's stinking face out of here. Like, I read the chapters with them together, Bernard and Tim, and I was like, that's cute. But it's just Stephanie and Tim are peak. They're peak. The Bruce Babs ship, get that shit out of here. I already made a video about bad ships like that. The notion of Bruce being mentally unstable, he is mentally unstable. I don't know about this one, Chili. Yeah, I think Bruce being mentally unstable makes sense, but not to the point that's shown recently. Yeah, that's what my point is. All stories where Bruce treats his kids like soldiers. I also don't like this. I think it's nuanced though. I think the idea is that when they are vigilantes, they're like soldiers, but then when they're at home, they're his children. So I don't really like the whole thing of, because people made a whole stink about the Jason thing where he had a grave which said a good soldier, but it was the cave memorial that said good soldier, because they're kind of soldiers in a war. The official grave, I swear he said it, good son. So really it's a misconception that he only saw him as a soldier. I don't know. I think treating them as soldiers and himself as soldiers when they're fighting is fine, because they are really. So, you know, Bruce being a bad parent, yep. I just get it off of, I think, neglect, yeah, but not like heavy neglect, and not like abuse and physical abuse and verbal abuse. I don't think Bruce would be. I think the only thing he would be is distant. That's the only problem. Bruce being drugged and raped by Talia to conceive Damien is something that I don't know if it has to be removed. It's alright. I think she's not supposed to be a great character in the first place. She kills people, so I don't know if the line should be drawn there. But at the same time, I think it would have been nice if they did have an innocent night and conceived Damien and still just didn't get together. Yeah, it might be a sign of racism the way that they're portraying her like that. So I understand either way. Three Jokers, I heard about that. I don't even want to touch it with a poll. That story, I don't know. Any notion that the Waynes were anything other than good, upstanding citizens. Yep, I don't want them to be corrupt. Absolutely, let's get rid of that. The idea that Batman is as crazy as his villains. Bruce's secret long lost court of owls brother. Bruce and Selina not getting married. Yeah, they should have gotten married, and that would have been better. If Superman is allowed to get happily married, why is Batman not allowed to? Yeah. I think at this point they could have just introduced a new character, which is why I like X-readers, because I'm deranged. But if not, they should have developed the love interests that he has so that they can fit in his life. Mostly Selina, they should have just had her go through character development. Maybe I saw a fic where they went on a trip together, and I think if they went on a trip together, it couldn't be too long, but something that really shifted their relationship. I think that would have been beautiful, and they could have come back and gotten married maybe. Yeah, I think that's it. So that's the first few what if posts and tags. There were loads I didn't talk about. These gave me a lot to talk about and a lot to think about, so I think that's enough, really. It's enough footage for today. Yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that. I might actually do another one because I only got to see a few posts and the others seemed pretty interesting as well. So get this video to X likes and maybe I will. If you want to do one thing, then subscribe. Otherwise check out my other videos and comment down below if you liked any of these what ifs, or if you disagreed with the what ifs. And then I say a quirky goodbye. Shine Young. It's a great tag on r/Batman. I would also say go and join r/Batman if you haven't read it, because it's pretty decent. It's a pretty decent subreddit. It's also pretty big, so you also find a lot of different interesting things on there if you do like this little guy and the people that this little guy likes as well in the Bat family. So yeah, Shine Young.